Spease, tell the sheriff I shot him.
Who?
Tell him he's still on the loose.
Is this some kind of joke? I've been trick-or-treated to death tonight.
You don't know what death is.
Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews. I'm your host, Matt Spease, and today we are looking at Halloween 2, released in 1981. Halloween 2 stars Donald Pleasence, Jamie Lee Curtis, Dick Warlock, Charles Cyphers, Pamela Susan Shoop, Lance Guest, Leo Rossi, Gloria Gifford, Tawny Moyer, Nancy Stevens, Anna Alicia, Hunter von Leer, and many others. Halloween 2 was directed by Rick Rosenthal, who took over the directing from John Carpenter, who stuck with the film as a writer alongside Deborah Hill. Now, as much as John Carpenter hates on this particular film about how he wrote a crap script on it and everything, I don't think it's that bad. I think he is overdoing his hate for this due to the fact that it was something that he didn't really want to do as far as a film. He wanted to do something different and away from the Halloween film, the film that made him big, basically. He wanted to do something different, and they were sticking it to him and saying, hey, you need to do this. You need to do a part 2 to this. And so I think thinking about his writing and everything on this, he's looking on it based on the negative experience of not wanting to actually do a sequel to this, and looking at his writing as bad. And I actually think some of his writing in this was better than the original film's writing. Number one, your major focus in this film, that's what makes this film, in my opinion, a better written film. Your main character you're following through most of this thing, as opposed to a bunch of kids where Deborah Hill was writing a bunch of young teenagers' dialogue and everything for this thing. No, it wasn't like that for this one. This one, John Carpenter was mostly writing a bunch of dialogue for Donald Pleasence's Dr. Loomis. And it benefits from that. Donald Pleasence has much more screen time in this one than he had in the original film. So much so that it just irks me. The main titles always irks me, just because they have Jamie Lee Curtis here, Donald Pleasence here. On the screen at the same time, yes, but she's higher than him on the credits, and yet she has none of the screen time that he has in this. She is barely in this film. Her little spotty little scenes here and there in the hospital before the final 20 minutes when she finally is made a character again. Nothing. She does nothing in those scenes of note. And she's, Meanwhile, Donald Pleasence is driving this film forward with a great performance. returning as Dr. Loomis. It should have been, in my opinion, just like the original movie, Donald Pleasence, his name should have been the top name on there. Jamie Lee Curtis, in my opinion, I mean, she shouldn't have been in the top names. I mean, it should have been all the other names after, and then maybe an and Jamie Lee Curtis, due to the fact that she has such little screen time in this film and does so little in it. Like I said, until the final 20 minutes, Laurie Strode is a non-existent character in this thing. Now, on to our lead villain, Michael Myers, in this. Dick Warlock, for whatever reason they went with Dick Warlock, and Dick Warlock is notably shorter as an actor, to where to play the part he had to wear lifts in his shoes to make him look bigger. So he is considerably smaller, and with the lifts in his shoes, he does not look as good as Michael Myers, in my opinion, than Nick Castle does. Nick Castle, he's not a huge guy. He's, I would say, probably 5'11", 6 foot, something like that. And he, just looks good. I mean, his size, based on the mask, what he looks like, he just looks better. Dick Warlock, he's shorter, a bit stockier, I believe, and with that comes the mask on his face being stretched because he's got a bigger, wider face. So Michael does not look as good in this film. Dick Warlock plays him well enough in here, but he's just not my favorite Michael Myers. Charles Cyphers returns as Brackett, and for a while he's really good in his return, in his reprisal of this character. But everything just goes south on this character when they do the whole, and this is probably the worst, most egregious writing that I will give to John Carpenter on this one, where what he does to Brackett, as far as he finds his daughter and instead of getting through it and helping Loomis to still stop Michael, he basically just gives up and blames Loomis for everything.
I'll take care of everything.
Damn you.
Sorry.
What have you done?
I haven't done anything.
You let him out!
I didn't let him out. I gave orders for him to be restrained.
So, yeah, I did not like what was done to the Brackett character in this. I thoroughly enjoyed the character in the first film, and I think this film really let the character down. The other returning character in this, though, Nancy Stevens as Marion Chambers, she is just as good as she was in the original, and John Carpenter does not write her badly. She has some really great lines in there. She has a good moment in the car, which leads to an excellent moment with Loomis.
Turn this car around now.
I can't do that. I've got orders.
Those orders just changed.
Dr. Loomis.
Doctor, you're getting yourself into a lot of trouble.
What is it you fellas usually do? Fire a warning shot, right?
And then near the end, she has an excellent moment when Loomis asks her to go out and call the police.
Unit calling, identify.
Marion Chambers with Dr. Loomis at the clinic. He's here.
10-4, unit calling, identify suspect.
Michael Myers, just get your ass over here.
So yeah, this was the best that Marion Chambers ever was in this series. And well, in all these other iterations, you know, she never returned in the original timeline, 1 through 6. But, of course, they brought her back and egregiously killed her off in the opening moments of H2O. And then that was bad enough. That was bad enough of a way to do this character. But the way they did her in that travesty of a film, Halloween Kills. So she was completely shit on in any other films other than 1 and 2. 1 and 2, she is a great character. So now on to the new characters that we are introduced to in this. Number 1 is Hunter von Leer. It's Gary Hunt. He basically takes over as the main sheriff kind of equivalent after they make Brackett just, hey, see you later. I'm going to blame everything on Loomis. Screw everybody. And Hunter von Leer is really cool and great as the character of Gary Hunt. I don't understand why in part 4, the only thing I could ever, do negative toward 4 would be that they didn't bring back Hunter von Leer to be like, he's the sheriff now. I mean, I love Meeker in 4, but that should have been Gary Hunt by all, intents and purposes. I mean, he had taken over that role by the end of this film. But, yeah, he's great in here. Pamela Susan Shoop as Karen. She's very likable. Like I said, John Carpenter's writing in this, even though he talks like he wrote the biggest piece of shit ever when he talks about it, it's not. Karen is a well-written character. Her boyfriend, Leo Rossi, Bud, he is one of the greatest characters in horror movie history.
It looks like a goddamn homecoming.
Julie said he was so creepy.
Julie's full of shit. He didn't escape until last night.
You don't have to swear, Bud.
Well, she's a goddamn moron anyway.
Every other word you say is either hell or shit or damn.
Sorry. I guess I just fuck up all the time.
See you later.
Right? Amazing Grace, come sit on my face. Don't make me cry, I need your pie.
And then we have Lance Guest, the love interest for Laurie Strode, playing Jimmy. I love Lance Guest and other stuff, but this film, he's non-existent in this thing. He's really upstaged by Bud as a character when they're on screen, and when he's on screen with Laurie, he's just a boring character. Well, Laurie is a boring character to me. She's not interesting, and Jamie Lee Curtis plays her so dull and so lackluster in this film. And whenever Lance Guest has to share the screen with him and do any dialogue, I mean, she just doesn't do anything worth noting in this film. A standout in the film is Gloria Gifford as Mrs. Alves. I mean, you hate this woman with a passion. The only negative I can say about this was they didn't even show her die. You introduced this character that you don't like her. She is, I mean, it's not her fault as a character because, I mean, and Gloria plays her great. But she's a boss character that is very bossy and very tough with her staff in here, and it just becomes irritating to you when you're watching her on screen. So them not even making her die, she dies, but you don't see Michael get her. You just see the aftermath. That was a missed opportunity there. Tawny Moyer as Jill, she's very likable. I really enjoyed her in there. Really wished she would have been more of the final girl than Lori in this thing, because, like I said, Lori doesn't do anything. And then when she does finally come out of her little cubby hole and start to get pursued by Michael, they immediately kill Jill to set it up. Right? Yeah, it's a badass kill, I mean, stabbing her in the back with the scalpel and then lifting her ass up, I mean. But yeah, it was a waste of a really good, likable character in there, I think. And then we come to the flip side of that with Anna Alicia as Janet. I mean, she has got to be the stupidest character in movie history. I mean, Mr. Garrett, the security guy, ends up giving her a walkie-talkie, tells her what to do, how to operate it. And then he goes off to do his things. And whenever he tries to communicate with her, she is so stupid she doesn't even know how to use it.
I think somebody broke into the storeroom.
Mr. Garrett? I can't hear you.
One of you had better drive down to the sheriff's station right away.
Mr. Garrett, how do you work this thing?
Janet!
I mean, the Janet character was completely useless. And then when she finds Dr. Mixter, I was somewhat relieved when Michael finally offed her ass, because she was just so stupid. Ironically, she acted like an airhead, and she got air in her head. So, the finale of this film is pretty slam bang. I mean, it is a really good moment when Dr. Loomis shows up at the hospital with Marion Chambers and the whole him shooting Michael after Michael smashes through the glass, coming after Lori. Yeah, that was awesome. And then after he kills the marshal, who was supposed to have been accompanying Marion and Loomis back to Smith's Grove, the whole sequence in which he gets stabbed with the scalpel and is injured, Loomis is, and then he starts turning on the gas or the whatever that was in this operating room, and the whole
It is time, Michael.
I mean, that whole sequence there, that is a really good way to take out Michael Myers. And then the big slam bang moment where he walks out of the fire. You know, he walks out on fire before finally falling down. It's a great moment. So, okay. Now, my final rating on this film. I would give Halloween 2, even though John Carpenter hates this film. I do not. I would give Halloween 2 an 8.0 out of 10. I think it is a pretty perfect sequel to the original film. And unlike a lot of people, I don't have a problem with the whole Laurie was revealed to be Michael's sister in it. Doesn't bother me at all. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't think it was lazy or bad writing by John Carpenter. In fact, he probably, you know, it was probably him watching freaking Empire Strikes Back, and he decided to just, hey, gotta add a twist, you know, the whole Luke, I am your father thing. Well, here we're brother and sister, you know. But I think it's a great movie. But what did you think? Do you agree with my rating on this one? If so, let me know in the comments down below. If you disagree, let me know still. You know, I mean, that's what we're doing these things for. And if you like this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it really does help my channel out a lot. So, I hope you have enjoyed this third review of mine that was a part 2. Alright. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching.